Roof Max of Hickory, affordable roof rejuvenation. Visit MakeMyRoofLast.com.
I'm Ralph Mangum here on the WHKY News. It's time now for our weekly review of a few of the top crime stories we had for you during the week of August 12th through August 16th. Here we go now.
The defendant in this case was arrested in 2022 by authorities here in Alexander County after a complaint was filed with police alleging that the defendant committed multiple crimes. He will serve a minimum of 2.5 years in prison as a result of the plea that was entered during a recent session of Superior Court here in Alexander County. 33-year-old Weldon Allen Seeds of Hiddenite entered a plea of guilty pursuant to Alford to 2 counts of indecent liberties with a child. He was given 2 consecutive sentences of 15 to 30 months in prison and was ordered to register as a sex offender for 30 years. The judge also issued a permanent no-contact order with the victim. An Alford plea is a guilty plea in which a defendant maintains their innocence but admits that the prosecution's evidence would likely result in a guilty verdict if brought to trial. The Alexander County Sheriff's Office arrested Seeds on March 4th of 2022 and initially charged him with felony counts of statutory rape of a child 15 years old or younger, incest with a child, indecent liberties with a child, statutory sex offense with a child, and crime against nature. The investigation began after a complaint was filed with authorities that alleged Seeds as the suspect. His prior criminal history included misdemeanor convictions in 2020 and 2021 in Alexander and Iredell counties. He has been transferred to Piedmont Correctional Institution in Salisbury to serve his sentence. So once again, 2 consecutive 15 to 30-month terms for Weldon Allen Seeds of Hiddenite. Reporting from Alexander County, I'm Rob Eastwood, WHKY News.
A man has been sentenced in an Alexander County break-in case. 38-year-old Carl Thomas Sampson of Lincoln County was found guilty of felony breaking and entering and larceny and of being an habitual felon by an Alexander County Superior Court jury. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive terms of 90 to 120 months, or a total of 15 to 20 years in prison. On October 6, 2023, Sampson was placed in the Alexander County Detention Center the same day that he'd been released from custody of the North Carolina Department of Corrections. He had served 7 years of a 9-year, 5-month sentence on a Catawba County conviction for violation of habitual felon status and other offenses. He was placed in jail on previously filed charges in Alexander County for felony counts of breaking and entering, larceny after breaking and entering, possession of burglary tools, 2 counts of attempted breaking and entering, possession of Schedule 7 controlled substance, and maintaining a vehicle, dwelling, or place for controlled substance. Following the recent conviction, Sampson was placed in the Granville Correctional Institute in Butner to serve his sentence. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY. A Lenoir woman was charged with possession of methamphetamine. 45-year-old Chastity Ann Pipes of Vance Street in Lenoir was arrested on Friday by Lenoir police officers. She was charged with felony counts of possession of controlled substance and possession of methamphetamine. Pipes was charged with misdemeanor possession of controlled substance on a penal institute. She was jailed under $60,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A Superior Court date was scheduled for September 29th.
Police arrested the suspect in this case after responding to a residence in Morganton for an overdose. The individual who was overdosing was brought to a local healthcare facility. During their investigation at the scene, police had to tell several people who were trespassing to leave the premises. During that investigation, they spotted a bag in a hidden compartment in a wall and seized the bag. The suspect was arrested and charged with multiple drug offenses. He was brought to the Burke County Jail. 22-year-old Ian Timothy Bass, who is listed as a homeless person from Morganton, was arrested Saturday by Morganton public safety officers. The charges against him are possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver methamphetamine, possession of Schedule IV controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Shortly after 6 p.m. Saturday, officers responded to the 200 block of Moorhead Street for an overdose. Upon arrival, officers assisted with rendering medical aid to the patient, who was transported by EMS to a local healthcare facility. Following this, the homeowner was contacted regarding several individuals trespassing inside the residence. While officers were directing the evacuation of unauthorized individuals from the home, one person attempted to go into another room of the house and retrieve a bag from a hidden compartment in a wall. Officers saw drug paraphernalia in plain view and seized the bag. An investigation was conducted which resulted in Ian Timothy Bass being arrested. Police reports show the seizure of methamphetamine and Suboxone. Following the arrest, Bass was brought to the Burke County Jail under $25,000 secured bond. He was awaiting a Monday district court date. Reporting from Burke County for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
22-year-old Ethan Rylan Lands of 21st Street Southeast in Hickory was arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers Saturday on a felony warrant as a fugitive awaiting extradition to another state. He is wanted by the Sheriff's Office in St. Lucie County, Florida, for making written threats to kill or do bodily harm and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. Lands was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility without bond. An appearance in district court was scheduled today in Newton.
Police say the defendant in this case stole a vehicle in an incident that occurred in 2019 in Iredell County. He received a minimum 5-year prison sentence. 53-year-old Landis Darnell Glaspie of Mooresville pleaded guilty to felony robbery with a dangerous weapon during a recent session of Iredell County Superior Court. He was sentenced to 60 to 84 months, that's 5 to 7 years in prison. According to a published report on November 4th of 2019, Iredell County Sheriff's deputies responded to a reported hit-and-run accident on North Carolina 901 near Interstate 77. The crash resulted in a child being trapped in a vehicle. Authorities got another call a short time later about the theft of a 2010 Chevrolet Malibu on I-77 near mile marker 56. A news release said when responding deputies arrived at the scene, they determined the suspect, who had been driving a Chrysler Town & Country minivan, fled the scene after being involved in multiple hit-and-run accidents on Highway 901. The suspect's minivan was found abandoned in a travel lane on I-77 South at mile marker 56, where the car had been stolen. The robbery victim told police she had been traveling south on 77 when she came upon the minivan in the middle of the travel lane. She immediately applied her brakes to avoid hitting the van. Once she came to a complete stop, the suspect was standing near her vehicle. She reportedly said he had a long metal pipe in his hands. The victim said the suspect opened her car door, grabbed her, and threw her to the ground in the median and drove off in her vehicle. Detectives determined that the suspect was Landis Darnell Glaspie. He has been incarcerated in the Piedmont Correctional Institution in Salisbury to serve his sentence. Reporting for WHKY News, this is Rob Eastwood.
A Davie County man has been sentenced in an Alexander County indecent liberties case. 39-year-old Justin Dean Chapman of the Davie County community of Advance was sentenced to 26 to 41 months in prison after pleading guilty pursuant to Alfred to indecent liberties with a child. The plea was entered during a recent session of Alexander County Superior Court. An Alfred plea is a guilty plea in which a defendant maintains their innocence but admits that the prosecution's evidence would likely result in a guilty verdict if brought to trial. According to our news partner WACB, on December 6, 2021, Chapman was taken into custody and charged with indecent liberties with a child and statutory sex offense with a child aged 15 years old or younger. The arrest followed an investigation conducted by by the Alexander County Sheriff's Office. Chapman was also charged in Burke County with failing to notify law enforcement of an address change as a registered sex offender. He was convicted in 2017 for sexual battery and given a 130-day active sentence and placed on the registry for 10 years. The North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections Offender Public Information website shows Chapman's current location as Birdie Correctional Institution in Windsor, North Carolina. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
35-year-old Devin Joseph Jacquette of Gay Street in Statesville has been arrested by Iredell County Sheriff's officers on felony counts of possession with intent to sell or deliver cocaine and maintaining a dwelling for a controlled substance. On Friday, August 9th, Iredell County narcotics investigators, along with the Sheriff's Emergency Response Tactics Team, executed a narcotic search warrant at Jacquette's residence. The search was the result of numerous complaints regarding suspected drug activity at the residence. Undercover narcotics investigators initiated surveillance on the property, identifying Jacquette as the main suspect. During the investigation, undercover officers purchased cocaine directly from Jacquette at the residence. When the search took place, Jacquette and several individuals were found both inside and outside the residence. They were secured without incident. The search turned up 23 grams of cocaine, 2 dosage units of ecstasy, and about 29 grams of marijuana. The total street value of the seized narcotics is estimated at $2,947. In April of 2022, a similar investigation and search resulted in Jacquette's arrest for felony possession with intent to sell or deliver cocaine. Following his arrest last week, Jacquette was taken to the Iredell County Detention Center. He was jailed without bond based on his criminal history and the nature of the charges. A district court appearance was scheduled for September 3rd. 37-year-old Vaughn Leon of Taylorsville was arrested on August 3rd for a variety of offenses, including driving while impaired and carrying a concealed gun. Last Thursday, Leon allegedly assaulted an Alexander County detention officer. The officer suffered minor injuries and received medical treatment. As a result of the incident, Leon has been charged with felony assault on a detention officer and 3 counts of resisting, obstructing, or delaying a public officer. Bond has been set at $30,000 secured. An Alexander County District Court date was scheduled for August 19th.
24-year-old Austin Sean Price of Central Drive in Lenoir was arrested on Sunday by Lenoir police officers. He was charged with felony obtaining property by false pretense and misdemeanor possession of stolen property. Price was jailed under $40,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He was scheduled to appear in district court on August 12th.
According to police reports, the suspect in this case has been arrested twice this month. The most recent arrest was this past weekend. Police reportedly seized methamphetamine during their investigation. 31-year-old Elizabeth Denise Self of US 70 West in Valdez was arrested on Sunday by Morganton public safety officers. She's charged with felony possession of Schedule II controlled substance, misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving while impaired. Shortly after 3 a.m. Sunday, an officer conducted a traffic stop of a gray 2005 Nissan Altima on South College Street at West Concord Street. The officer was nearly struck by the vehicle as the driver was making a right turn onto South College from West Concord. During the investigation, the officer reportedly seized 1.1 grams of methamphetamine. Self was previously arrested by public safety on August 2nd. On that date, she was arrested at a business on Carbon City Road in Morganton and charged with felony possession of Schedule II controlled substance. Following this past weekend's arrest, Self was incarcerated in the Burke County Jail under $25,000 secured bond. A court date was scheduled this past Monday. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
According to a news release from the FBI, the arrest was made last week. 51-year-old Gregory Charles Peck Jr. of Connolly Springs is charged in a criminal complaint filed in the District of Columbia with the felony counts of assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers with a deadly or dangerous weapon and civil disorder. In addition to the felony charges, Peck is charged with several misdemeanor counts, including entering and remaining in restricted grounds or buildings, disorderly and disruptive conduct in restricted grounds or buildings, engaging in physical violence in restricted grounds or buildings, disorderly conduct in a Capitol building or grounds, and engaging in physical violence in the Capitol grounds or buildings with a deadly or dangerous weapon. According to court documents, Peck entered the restricted Capitol grounds on January 6th of 2021 via the West Front. While on the southwest corner of the West Plaza, Peck used a flagpole with an attached yellow Gadsden flag to hit a Metropolitan Police Department or MPD officer. The alleged assault was captured on a body-worn camera. At approximately 2:30 p.m., Peck raised the flagpole with his right hand, according to authorities, and lifted it over another rioter's shoulder to hit the officer's left arm while a U.S. Capitol Police officer tried to push the rioters away from the MPD officer. Peck is charged in connection to additional alleged activities at the Capitol. This case is being prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia and the Department of Justice National Security Division's Counterterrorism Section. Assistance was provided by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of North Carolina. FBI agents arrested Peck on August 7th in Connolly Springs. He made his first court appearance in the Western District of North Carolina. You can get much more on this case by going to this story at our website, WHKY.com. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood. The defendant in this case received a minimum 7-year prison sentence. She was charged with multiple drug offenses following a traffic stop in January of 2021. 4 days after that traffic stop, authorities searched the defendant's home and they seized MDMA and marijuana, according to police reports. 38-year-old Ebony Yvette Mills pleaded guilty during a recent session of Iredell County Superior Court to manufacture, sell, deliver, or possess controlled substance within 1,000 feet of a school, 2 counts of possession with intent to sell or deliver Schedule II controlled substance, and she admitted to being an habitual felon. She was sentenced to 84 to 113 months, that's 7 years to 9 years, 5 months in prison. During a traffic stop on January 11th of 2021, the Mooresville Police Department charged Mills with possession with intent to sell or deliver Schedule I controlled substance. The substance is MDMA, also known as ecstasy, within 1,000 feet of a park, maintaining a vehicle for controlled substance, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. According to Mooresville Police, Mills was on probation at the time of her arrest for charges including possession with intent to sell or deliver methamphetamine, Schedule I controlled substance, Schedule II controlled substance, and marijuana. On January 15th of 2021, Mooresville detectives assisted the North Carolina Department of Community Corrections with a search of Mills' residence. During the search, detectives seized 21 dosage units of MDMA. They also seized marijuana. The defendant is serving her sentence at the North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women in Raleigh. So a sentence of 7 years to 9 years, 5 months in prison for Ebony Yvette Mills of Mooresville. Reporting for WHKY News, this is Rob Eastwood.
35-year-old Keetwan O'Neill Moss of 17th Avenue Northeast in Hickory was arrested by Hickory police late Tuesday night on felony counts of trafficking in opium or heroin, trafficking in methamphetamine, trafficking in cocaine, and possession of a Schedule II, III, or IV controlled substance, along with a misdemeanor count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Moss was taken into custody without incident at about 11:55 p.m. Tuesday at an address on 10th Avenue Drive Southeast in Hickory. He was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility where he is being held without bond. Appearances in District and Superior Court were scheduled on August 14th in Newton. 27-year-old Austin Lee Hector of Hillside Court in Hickory was arrested Tuesday by Catawba County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with 2 counts of trafficking opium or heroin, along with single counts of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Hector was jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility under a $150,000 bond. A district court date was scheduled on August 14th. 41-year-old Ryan Lewis Craig and 35-year-old Caroline Elizabeth Patel have both been arrested by Catawba County Sheriff's officers for felony trafficking in methamphetamine and misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia. Craig was also charged with maintaining a vehicle for the manufacture, sale, or delivery of a controlled substance. Just after 12:15 p.m. Sunday, deputies conducted a traffic stop on Conover Boulevard West. During the stop, a sheriff's office K-9 alerted to the presence of narcotics inside the vehicle. Deputies found and seized 171 grams of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. Craig was the driver and Patel was a passenger. Both suspects were jailed in the Catawba County Detention Facility with bond for Craig set at $100,000 secured, while Patel was given a $75,000 secured bond. Both have since been released. Craig and Patel were scheduled to make first appearances in district court on August 12th. No additional court dates are currently listed. To finish up today, here now is WHKY's Ariana Mack with a fugitive arrest in Caldwell County.
A Lenoir woman is charged with a fugitive extradition to Alabama. 49-year-old Monica Renee Brooks of Lenoir was arrested on Tuesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. She was charged with a felony fugitive extradition to another state. Brooks was wanted on a governor's warrant from Asheville, Alabama, on unspecified charges. She was jailed in the Caldwell County Detention Center under no bond. No court dates were listed. A Granite Falls man was arrested for larceny of a motor vehicle. 32-year-old Casey Kristen Clark of Hickory Boulevard in Granite Falls was arrested on Tuesday by Caldwell County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 3 felonies: larceny of a motor vehicle, possession of a stolen motor vehicle, and probation violation. Clark was jailed under $45,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He was scheduled to appear in district court on Wednesday, August 14th. A Catawba County man has been charged in connection to a fatal crash. 22-year-old Darian Amadeus Killian of Conover has been arrested by the North Carolina State Highway Patrol. He's charged with felony death by vehicle, driving while impaired, and several additional traffic violations. Killian is charged in connection to a fatal June crash in northern Alexander County. According to information released by Highway Patrol on June 27th at approximately 4:00 p.m., that agency responded to a fatal collision in Alexander County on Wittenberg Road near Perry Fox Lane. A 2014 Ford Explorer was traveling west on Wittenberg Road, crossed the center line, and collided head-on with an eastbound 2017 Nissan Rogue. The driver of the Rogue, 82-year-old Evelyn Mundy Hines of Taylorsville, was critically injured and transported by EMS to an area hospital where she passed away from her injuries on June 29th. The driver of the Explorer, Darian Amadeus Killian, was transported by EMS to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 2 passengers in the vehicle were treated for minor injuries at the scene. Killian was taken into custody on August 8th and placed in the Alexander County Detention Center. He remained in custody under a secured bond of $200,000. The next court appearance for Killian is listed for September 9th in Taylorsville. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
The suspect in this case is a Morganton resident who was arrested following an investigation conducted by local and federal authorities. He was initially placed in the Burke County Jail following his arrest. As of the time I'm filing this report, he is listed as an inmate in Catawba County. A court date is scheduled in late August. 30-year-old Andrew Clay Deviney of Ridge Court in Morganton was arrested Tuesday by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with 8 felony counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. On Tuesday, the Burke County Sheriff's Office conducted a joint operation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, regarding allegations of the distribution of child pornography. This operation led to a search warrant being executed at an address on Ridge Court in Morganton and another search warrant outside of Morganton. Deviney was taken into custody and was brought to the Burke County Jail under a $500,000 secured bond. Late Wednesday, he was still listed as an inmate in Burke County. As of the time I'm filing this report, Deviney is listed among the inmates incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility in Newton. However, no Catawba County charges had been filed against him. A Burke County District Court date is scheduled for August 30th. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
A Hickory man was arrested for larceny and gun possession. 41-year-old Michael Joseph Ford of Cape Hickory Road was arrested on Wednesday by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 3 counts of armed habitual felon, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and larceny. Ford was jailed under $80,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He is scheduled to appear in Superior Court on September 9th. And a Hickory man charged with break-in to a place of worship. 36-year-old Eric Gray Pewitt, who is listed as a homeless person from Hickory, was arrested Wednesday by Longview police officers. He's charged with breaking or entering to a place of worship, felony larceny, injury to personal property, and injury to real property. Pewitt was incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $50,000 bond. A district court appearance was scheduled for August 15th. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
The individuals depicted have been arrested but not convicted at the time of story postings. This information does not infer or imply guilt of any actions or activity other than their arrest. We make no warranty or guarantee as to the accuracy of this data. You're watching the WHKY News, where it's time now for the Crime Report. I'm Ralph Mangum. An arrest has been made in a child pornography case. WHKY's Rob Eastwood reports.
The suspect in this case is a Morganton resident who was arrested following an investigation conducted by local and federal authorities. He was initially placed in the Burke County Jail following his arrest. As of the time I'm filing this report, he is listed as an inmate in Catawba County. A court date is scheduled in late August. 30-year-old Andrew Clay Deviney of Ridge Court in Morganton was arrested Tuesday by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with 8 felony counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. On Tuesday, the Burke County Sheriff's Office conducted a joint operation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or FBI, regarding allegations of the distribution of child pornography. This operation led to a search warrant being executed at an address on Ridge Court in Morganton and another search warrant outside of Morganton. Deviney was taken into custody and was brought to the Burke County Jail under a $500,000 secured bond. Late Wednesday, he was still listed as an inmate in Burke County. As of the time I'm filing this report, Deviney is listed among the inmates incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility in Newton. However, no Catawba County charges had been filed against him. A Burke County District Court date is scheduled for August 30th. Reporting for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
Thank you, Rob. WHKY's Ariana Mack is next with a suspect arrested in Burke County as an armed habitual felon.
A Hickory man was arrested for larceny and gun possession. 41-year-old Michael Joseph Ford of Cape Hickory Road was arrested on Wednesday by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He was charged with 3 counts of armed habitual felon, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and larceny. Ford was jailed under $80,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. He is scheduled to appear in Superior Court on September 9th, and a Hickory man charged with break-in to a place of worship. 36-year-old Eric Gray Pewitt, who is listed as a homeless person from Hickory, was arrested Wednesday by Longview police officers. He's charged with breaking or entering to a place of worship, felony larceny, injury to personal property, and injury to real property. Pewitt was incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility under $50,000 bond. A district court appearance was scheduled for August 15th. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
Thank you, Ariana. I'll keep it going now. 33-year-old Bradley Andrew Knipe of 28th Street Northeast in Hickory was arrested by Hickory police early Thursday morning on one felony count of possession of a Schedule I controlled substance and a misdemeanor count of possession of drug paraphernalia. He was also served with an outstanding misdemeanor warrant for breaking and entering and second-degree trespassing. Knipe was taken into custody without incident just before 2 a.m. Thursday at a hotel on 13th Avenue Drive Southeast in Hickory. He was incarcerated in the Catawba County Detention Facility where he is being held without bond. District court dates were scheduled Thursday and on August 26th in Newton. As previously reported by WHKY, Knipe was arrested in Catawba County on June 1st for possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. A Superior Court appearance on those charges is coming up on August 19th. 45-year-old Laurie Lee Townsend of Crossing Creek Drive in Claremont has been arrested by Conover police on charges of possession of fentanyl and possession of drug paraphernalia. She was jailed on August 15th in the Catawba County Detention Facility where she is being held without bond. An appearance in Superior Court was set for August 16th in Newton.
3 people have been arrested in an Alexander County drug case. 29-year-old William Cody Blevins and 44-year-old Tracy Lynn Kilpatrick, both of Stony Point, and 49-year-old Tricia Diane Warren of Taylorsville were arrested Tuesday by Alexander County Sheriff's officers, Taylorsville police officers, and probation and parole officers. Blevins was charged with trafficking in methamphetamine, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver a controlled substance, possession of controlled substance, maintaining a vehicle or dwelling to possess a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and fictitious or expired tag. Kilpatrick was charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. Warren was charged with trafficking methamphetamine, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver a controlled substance, possession of controlled substance, maintaining a dwelling for controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. During the investigation, officers seized approximately 29 grams of methamphetamine along with U.S. currency. Blevins received an $80,000 secured bond. Kilpatrick's bond was set at $5,000 secured, and Warren was placed under a $60,000 secured bond. All 3 have district court dates scheduled for Monday, August 19th. I'm Ariana Mack for WHKY.
A Morganton woman faces drug charges following an arrest made by Morganton Public Safety. Police reportedly seized drugs during the investigation. The suspect was taken to the Burke County Jail following her arrest. 50-year-old Dorian Hall Arndt of East Meeting Street in Morganton was arrested Wednesday by Morganton Public Safety officers. She's charged with felony counts of possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver Schedule II controlled substance and possession of Schedule II controlled substance, along with a misdemeanor count of possession of Schedule IV controlled substance. Arndt was arrested shortly after midnight Wednesday morning after police responded to a location on Carbon City Road. Police reportedly seized 2 grams of a white crystal-like substance, 3 grams of marijuana, numerous Ziploc baggies, and an empty water bong. Arndt was brought to the Burke County Jail under $25,000 secured bond. A district court appearance was scheduled Thursday in Morganton. The next suspect is a Connolly Springs resident who faces weapon charges. 30-year-old Tommy Lee McKinney of Miller Mill Road in Connolly Springs was arrested Wednesday by Burke County Sheriff's officers. He's charged with felony counts of possession of a weapon by a felon and possession of a weapon on campus or other educational property. McKinney was arrested shortly before 10:30 a.m. Wednesday at an address on Miller Bridge Road in Connolly Springs. He is a felon as a result of a conviction in an Avery County case in May of 2023 for cruelty to animals. Following his arrest, McKinney was brought to the Burke County Jail under $20,000 secured bond. He was scheduled to appear in district court in Morganton on Thursday. Reporting from Burke County for WHKY News, I'm Rob Eastwood.
A Lenoir man is charged with possession of controlled substance. 33-year-old Kenneth Douglas Lawrence of Frontier Way in Lenoir was arrested on Thursday by Lenoir police officers. He was charged with felony counts, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver Schedule II controlled substance, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, or deliver Schedule I controlled substance, and maintaining a vehicle or dwelling for controlled substance. Lawrence was jailed under $100,000 secured bond in the Caldwell County Detention Center. A district court date was scheduled for August 19th.
32-year-old Victor David Calderon Gonzalez of Sandalwood Court in Newton was served with a felony warrant Thursday as a fugitive awaiting extradition to another state. He is wanted in El Paso, Texas on a charge of tampering with evidence. He was already in custody in the Catawba County Detention Facility where he had been since May 31st following an arrest by the Hickory Police Department on multiple counts of failure to appear, plus one count of resisting a public officer. Calderon Gonzalez reportedly failed to appear in court on charges of driving while license revoked, driving left of center twice, driving while impaired twice, and failure to wear a seatbelt. He was given a $45,000 bond on the fugitive warrant with no bond amount listed on the other charges. Calderon Gonzalez was scheduled to appear in district court Thursday on the fugitive warrant with another appearance coming up on September 16th. His only other listed court date is in February of next year on the DWI and driving left of. That was a look back at some of the crime stories we had for you during the week of August 12th through the 16th. Look for the weekly recap each Saturday evening at WHKY.com and on our YouTube channel, where you'll also find our top stories, the crime report, local sports, and community focus. I'm Ralph Mangum. Thank you for joining us.